That's right. We are live drafting. I was going to say mock drafting. We're live drafting right now on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Get on over to Underdog Fantasy. I'm dropping the link right now in the live chat. I'm going to pin that link. And if you want to get in to this draft right now, the one we're about to kick off, a puppy draft, $500K in prizes, $5 per entry. They're almost, as you can see that green indicator line, they're almost halfway full on these puppies. They'll definitely do a puppy 2 and a puppy 3. But the nice part about getting into these puppies, when they do like puppy 1, puppy 2, puppy 3, is that you get to draft all these players early before their ADPs rise. And then when puppy 2 comes out, it's a whole new series. So get into these drafts while some of these guys that we love so much have really low ADPs. The Fantasy Football Show live draft, live best ball draft edition begins right this very second, pal. File on in.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, everybody? Please hit that thumb up button on your way in the door. We are drafting live in just a few minutes here. I'm going to be posting the link, or I posted the link already. Let me pin the link in the live chat, and we're going to get right to drafting. And your boy is hoping he gets a high draft pick. I love the 1, 2, or 3 in these underdog drafts. I'm not saying I can't draft a winning team from these other landing spots. Here's the link one more time if anybody wants to jump in. I'm going to pin it right now. Link has been pinned. We'll be going into, if anybody's wondering, hey, I've already clicked on the link, Smitty. We're going to go to this home, lobby, home, and the second card, if you swipe over, the second card. Best Ball Mania, which we do a lot of those too. That's $15 million in prizes, $25 in entry. We're going to get into the puppy drafts. $5 in entry, $500K in prizes, same lineup requirements. I'm going to click it, but I'm not going to click the enter button yet. Let's wait a second, let people file on in, and we're going to jump right into a $5 puppy draft. And we're going to talk about specifically during this draft, running back or wide receiver when you're in those third and fourth rounds. What do you prefer? Are you going Kenny Walker around 4 or 5? Or are you going Watson or London ahead of players like that? What is your favorite third and fourth round approach in these best ball drafts or in fantasy football drafts alone? The Suns got spanked. They did. That was a pitiful game. Real disappointed about that one, but the Suns were down 0-2, came back. So hopefully they can tie this up and then come back and just, win that last game. It's one game at a time at this point. All right, puppies, we're entering it. Click the green button now. Click the green button now. I'll wait about 4 or 5 seconds because there's a YouTube delay, and we'll get into the draft together. 4 more to start. I'm going to go to board view so you guys can see. Well, hopefully your boy gets a top 1 to 2 or 3 overall pick. Absolutely love it. Durant, man, this is crazy, It's been a crazy series. Lakers series is really good. That one's better than this one. I love the Suns. Obviously, I want the Suns to go all the way, but I do love watching that Lakers series. That's such a phenomenal series. Draft begins. We filled those up. If for any reason you missed getting in this draft, just get in another one and draft alongside of us. And what we're talking about, just apply it to your draft. So don't think, I didn't get in this one. Dan the Grim Reacher is in this one. CK Knox is in here. Ron Navy TD Strikers made it in. What's up, Ron? Let's see here. We got Dodge in here. George from the Bay. So we got definitely a handful of the usual suspects. Appreciate you all getting in here. No mock drafts tonight, Trey. The mock drafts are just garbage, bro. The ADP data is garbage. There's no it's almost worthless to do a mock draft. Almost worthless, bro, because the ADP data is so jacked up you can't even go deep in the draft anyway. All right, here we go. Mac is on the clock with the 1 pick. Who's he gonna take? Who's Mac gonna take? I'm gonna guess it's gonna be Jamar Chase or JJ. I just don't see much variation at all aside from those two guys. They're the consensus 1 and 2, which is so funny because a year ago when we started talking about this being the case, that Jamar Chase would climb into the number 1 or number 2 spot. There he is at there's Jefferson at number 1. Here's Chase. Watch, here's Chase. Dan the Grim Reacher. Will Dan go CMC, though? Maybe he will. But it was so funny talking about this. There he goes, Jamar Chase. Talking about this, last year that Chase was climbing up the ranks really high. Bijan going number 3. Not surprising in our group, but I don't know if that's one of our guys. I don't know if DJ Speedy is one of ours. That might be a random. DJ, if you're in the chat, raise your hand. That would be interesting if that was not one of our guys and he went number 3. Cooper Kupp going number 4. TD Strikers, Ron Navy on the clock at number 5. Looks like I got a, 8 pick? 8 pick's not horrible, but it's not the best. Ron taking Garrett Wilson. Wee bit early, but I mean, you can't argue it. You can't argue he's a great pick. He's going to be potentially a top 5 overall wide receiver for sure. 1 to 5. So you can't argue it. It is very, very high. Christian McCaffrey falling to 6 is it seems really unusual, right? Okay, I'm on the clock. Tyreek Hill went. This is a tough spot to be in. I got Diggs, AJ Brown, Adams, JT. I kind of hate going early tight end because I love drafting the next breakout and getting the advantage there. But Kelsey, I'm just going to take Kelsey here and see how this team develops. I don't hate it. I just don't love it. But definitely can build a winning team, using this approach. But it's not something that I try for. It's not something I hope for. That I go out there and I hope I get Travis Kelsey pick. But right there, had to do it. Diggs, okay. Who's next? AJ Brown. And Ron reached pretty high for Garrett Wilson, but you're not going to get him at his ADP, which is 14, 15, 13 right now. He's second round for sure, but there's no way he's going to come back to Ron. But still is it's high, but at the same time, it's like, what are you going to do? Force yourself to take Tyreek if you really like, Garrett Wilson more. You can always trade down. I know I want to get my Frake on, says Ron. Rock Out with a super chat says, got in the wrong draft. That's okay, Rock Out. Just apply what we're doing here, baby. You can just dominate that one. JT going 12, followed up with a Patty Mahomes. Thank you, Rock Out, for that super chat, my guy. Appreciate you. Smitty, don't judge me. I'm reaching hard tonight. You're always reaching, bro. What would make me think any different? Eckler and Barkley, those aren't real reaches. Those are okay. Adams, Lamb, Amon Ra. See, here's the thing where do I do it? Do I do what Ron's doing? Do I reach a little bit on Olave, which isn't that big of a reach? He's now a staple in the second round. Adams, Lamb, God. St. Brown. I'm gonna go St. Brown. I'm not gonna try and push Olave up, and I'm also wanting to try a St. Brown team, so I'm okay with that. I love Olave though, but we'll let it slide. Devontae Adams going to Dodge. CeeDee Lamb going to the number 6 spot. Chris Olave going to TD Strikers, so he gets both Olave and Garrett Wilson. Nice job, Ron. C. Knox is going who? Dawson Knox, maybe? You going to go Dawson Knox here? Who are you taking, C. Knox? Jerick McKinnon just went in the 12th. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense to go in the 12th, but it makes sense to draft him. Especially if you got Pacheco. I wonder if that guy had Pacheco. That would make sense. Jalen Waddle. Cooper Kupp. Good little pairing. Broski. T. Higgins, Tony Pollard, Nick Chubb. What's up, Max? What's going on, Lunchbox? What's up? Well, randomly fired up a puppy after homework to get into draft with you. Appreciate you, Cnox. That is Cnox. There he is. Seanox. That's our guy. Cooper Kupp, Jalen Waddle. Denny's in the building. Denny, you're going to have to call in a minute. Phone line's not open quite yet, Denny, but the phone line will be open for you shortly. Denny, I don't know if you knew, but we had this up for you, bro. We've been looking for Denny. Good Lord. We've been looking for you, Denny. You've been missing for a while. It went Mark Andrews, Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Smith, Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry. God, this is a big reach fest, man. when we draft, it's nothing but reaching, bro. Just constant reaching all over the place. Just a total reach fest. I mean, look at all these picks. It's like, let's see, Ramondre Stevenson. So I'm on Raw. My team is follows. Let's go ahead and let's check out the QBs. I mean, Burrow's there. I'm tempted to go Burrow. Running backs. Wide receivers are flying off the board. I'm going to go cigar smoker. So my team so far, Joe Burrow, Amon-Ra, Travis Kelce. Not feeling bad about that whatsoever. Not bad at all. Are you doing another puppy? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. Denny's the GOAT. He'll punch you in the throat. Denny, appreciate you being here. Denny, how do you like that, Denny? We've been calling for you, bro. We've been calling for you like crazy, Denny. We've been back calling you. Where's Denny? We've been waiting for you, Denny. Jahmyr got Gibbs at 3.8. Too early. In this community, no. But in general, you want to try your hardest to get him as late as possible. But in this community, it does. They fly off the board, bro. It's just the way it is. It's the way everybody drafts. Stop by to say hi and like. Thank you, very blessed. Appreciate you. King Denny, Esquire, Sun God. Denny's the GOAT. Is Denny better than Bo Jackson? Denny, can I sling it better than Bo Jackson? Denny's going to call in and tell me I can sling it. I'm on the clock here. I don't have an RB yet. It's a little early. I'm going to cue Kenny in case I get knocked out of here. I'm going to go Kenny Walker just to get an RB on the books. Joe Burrow, man, would this have looked different a month ago? Joe Burrow, Kenny Walker, Amon-Ra, Travis Kelce. Straight balance across the board. Have you ever seen balance like that? Pretty good. Pretty good. All right, Debo went next. Number 43 overall is on the clock here. Christian McCaffrey, Lamb, Derrick Henry on deck. Dodge has Hill, Devontae Adams, Ramondre, Debo. Christian Watson goes to number 6 overall. It's so easy to predict all you guys. Like I know exactly where you're all going. Hopkins. Not that I'm not predictable too, but it's just funny. It's like I could bet money on where some of these guys are gonna go. Jamar Chase, Tony Pollard, Breece Hall. I really like Dan the Grim Reacher. He's reaching like nobody today. He's actually doing good. Trevor Lawrence, a little bit of a reach there, 4th round, but you know, quarterbacks are flying off the board a little differently than normal, so it's understandable that you don't take the quarterback in round 5. You go ahead and initiate it early. But Jerry Jeudy, I don't like that one, bro. Is Mac one of ours? If not, hopefully Mac isn't one of ours, because that Jerry Jeudy pick, 4th round.
just been Smitty disapproved.
Christian Kirk, Trevor Lawrence, little stackage going on there. I really love your first 3 picks, though, Dan. Not that I don't love... I love your first 4 picks. I don't hate Christian Kirk, but I love your first 4 picks. I'm not in love with Kirk in the 5th, even though he can deliver there. He really could. But I'm not in love with it. That's all. Doesn't mean I hate it. Doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean you made a mistake. I just don't love it. I love your first 3 picks. And I like your first 4. Smitty, you mentioned 2 high QB picks in a puppy. I have Fields, Herbert in my draft. You mentioned 2. What does that mean, though? Peanut butter. You might have to clarify a little bit. You never take T-Law there. Yeah, I never see T-Law go that high, which is why I don't love the pick, but I still like the player. I love the player, just don't necessarily love the pick. But we're all doing a little reach session here. You know what I'm saying? Just the way it goes. Okay. What am I going to do here? Wide receivers. Definitely could use a wide receiver. I feel like I'm going Swift. 5.8. I'm going Swift. Doing it live. Doing it live. Swift at 5.8 to 6.8. Anywhere in that later, like as soon as you get past the middle of round 5, I think it's solid. Smitty, your thoughts on Debo and redraft? You like him? I don't love Debo in redraft, and I've taken him in a couple best ball drafts. Aloha says, if I do a $20, do I send you a picture of my team or write it? Write it in a super chat, Aloha, or call in to the show. Okay, and if you drop that call into the show, it might be easier. I can give you a bit better assist on it, but you can definitely put it in the super chat as well. Let's go ahead. Board view. Dan the Grim Reacher. Feel the reach, says Dan. Rock out, says team so far. JT, Olave, Gibbs, Watson, T-Law. I really like that. Rock out got in another draft. He wasn't able to draft with us. Got Swift at 6.5. That's fantastic. You don't have to reach like I did. Okay, I want you to have a hard time, so I'll pass. So I'll type, oh, I'm sorry. I thought it said pass. You don't have, it won't be a hard time. Call in. It's fine. All right, I'm on the clock here. Let's go George Pickens to the moon. George Pickens to the moon. I came in with a plan to dominate, and that's exactly what I'm doing, says George from the Bay. Let me be the judge of that. Austin Eckler, Saquon, Travis Etienne, Lamar, Terry McLaurin, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. I don't know. Hey, chat, do you feel dominated? No offense, George, but I don't feel dominated. I don't feel dominated looking at this squad right here. George from the Bay, we'll put it at the very far right column. Austin Eckler, Saquon, Travis Etienne, Lamar Jackson, Terry McLaurin, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. I like it. I like it, George. But I don't feel dominated. I don't feel embarrassed. I don't feel ashamed of myself, George. At all. But I appreciate you. And actually, you're doing a good job not reaching all over the place like normal, George. You're doing a good job. I like the Dameon Pierce pick, Ron. That's a real nice one. I think Pierce in the 6th round is really good. I think Pierce, Pacheco, All very, very good picks from the 6th round. The question is, what wide receivers will be left by the time it gets back to me? That is the true question, because they're flying off the board like they're free. Few quarterbacks left. I don't mind doing the double. Like, let's say it gets back to me and I decide to go. Let's just say Watson probably won't be there, so I'm going to use Watson so I don't give away a secret here. But let's say I'm looking at still having a wide receiver spot to fill. You know, if I'm looking at a wide receiver spot to fill, I don't know that I'm feeling all that that pressure to go wide receiver 3 when I can go get a dominant quarterback to put behind me. Not saying Watson was him. I was just using him as an example. He was at the top. I didn't want him. Let's just say there's another quarterback here that I may or may not like, and I compare that quarterback with my Joseph cigar smoking Burrow. Then I have no problem with it whatsoever. George from the Bay. I don't feel dominated, George. Speedy, do you feel dominated? Hey, C. Knox, do you feel dominated by George? I don't feel dominated by George. Smitty sniped my Pickens. You could say that you were trying to snipe my Pickens, Ron, is basically what you could have said. Smitty, what do you think of from the fifth spot so far? The 5th pick so far, bro, I would probably say, who's at 5th? Oh, that's Ron. From the 5th pick spot. That's your team's different. You're in a different draft. I got you. I'm sorry. Smitty, what do you think of Bijan Hall, JB? I like it. I love Hall. Ron going with the Steeler. Ron Navy with the Deontay Johnson. Look, I'm hard on Deontay, but that doesn't mean I don't see value late in the draft. Like, I understand what time it is. Phone lines are open. Dial in. Dodge is on the clock. Dodge has Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuel. I better go Charbonnet here before one of you snipe me. It's a little early. I don't recommend taking him higher than this pick, though. Really, there's no need. If someone snipes you, they snipe you, but like, don't be forcing it to where you can't fill out your lineup. So my team so far: Burrow, Kenny Walker, Swift, Charbonnet, St. Brown, George Pickens, Travis Kelce. I gotta admit, I feel George. Hey George, I'm not feeling dominated, George. If anything, I feel like you should be a little embarrassed right now. I feel like George should be a teeny bit embarrassed right now by this team. This team looks pretty embarrassing on the other side of the fence. There, George from the Bay. I got Harris on the line. I got a $50 hauler. Hold on a second, Harris. Hang tight real quick, okay, Harris? We got a $50 hauler from Aloha. Aloha dropping a 50 wad. Aloha, because you dropped a $50 hauler, we need a bold prediction to put on the board as well. Okay, so after this, I want you to give me your bold prediction. But Aloha's got... Aloha, can you call in? Is it possible or no? If not, I can definitely handle this via text. But your team, I also got Underdog and use code Smitty. Aloha's doing good things tonight.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
Appreciate you, Aloha. So 12 team: Herbert, Tony Pollard, Walker, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Mark Andrews, Gibbs, Tucker. Let me pick real quick, Aloha, 1 second. I definitely could use a wide receiver. You guys have sniped all these wide receivers. Let's go. You know what? This feels a little early, but I think it could really help me later. Man, should I do it? I'm going to do it. Give me JMO. JMO's a really strange pick. It's kind of a risky pick. I'm not sure it's the right move. It just feels like a really good move potentially, because 6 weeks will go by quick. You know, we always get real down about a player suspended, but all of a sudden you're doing well. You have a nice filler in between. And then once, week 7's here, we're going to be looking at Jameson Williams and going, okay, now, the waiting game's over. This could end up being a really good move for the squad. But I don't know. I feel like this is a really, really good team. I really like this team. Usually it's hard from this spot to draft well for anybody. Like I walk out going, But Joe Burrow, Walker, Swift, Charbonnet, St. Brown, George Pickens, Jameson Williams, and Kelsey absolutely love this squad so far. I'll review all the teams later. Let me just get to the super chat real quickly. So 12-team Aloha: Herbert, Pollard, Walker, Lamb, A.J. Brown, Mark Andrews, Jahmyr Gibbs, Tucker, Bucks D. That's a really good lineup, bro. Herbert, Pollard, Walker, Lamb, A.J. Brown, Mark Andrews, Jahmyr Gibbs, Tucker, Bucks D. Benches: Daniel Jones, T. Lance, Mixon, D. Adams. Is that Devontae Adams on your bench? Tank Dell, love that. Josh Downs, love that. Quentin Johnston, nice. Sam Laporta, I love Laporta, bro. That's a really good backup tight end. Also got Underdog. Hey, Aloha, what's the question? Let me see what Aloha. Tell me what the question is. All I can tell you is that team's straight fire. If you can trade, if this is a best ball team though, right? Yeah, because you use promo code Smitty. Okay, that's good. That's really good. And you have some players in place like Mixon. And I just don't know who is that. D. Adams? That can't be Devontae Adams on your bench. So who's the D. Adams? Who am I blanking? Hey guys, on the phone line here, Harris and Ron. D. Adams. He has D. Adams on the bench. That can't be Devontae Adams. Who is that?
There's really only Devontae, isn't it?
But how could he get that in an underdog draft? There's no way. Maybe this is a different team. Also got Underdog. I bet you this is a grandma league where he absolutely dominated, and he's just telling us that he got an Underdog promo code Smitty draft going as well, or he used the code. I'm pretty sure, because there's no way you can draft this on Underdog. Meaning, Aloha, that you smash, bro. You smash. And he says, can I make a trade? So definitely not Underdog. Okay. So for this team, bro, my whole objective would be use Devontae Adams to get into a top 1 to 2, 3, 4 overall quarterback. I like Herbert. I don't mind Herbert, but I certainly would love getting into a Joe Burrow. If you can do that using Mixon even without touching Devontae Adams, that would be very, very solid. I love this team though. That's fantastic. So my objective here for you is to get a better quarterback without really touching the lineup. Trading, you should have got Charbonnet. I would trade for Charbonnet. I'd trade Mixon for Charbonnet straight up in your situation. You can afford to do that, but you need to protect that Walker-Charbonnet combo. Pollard, I love. Maybe pick up Deuce Vaughn. Who could you drop? Not really anybody. Yeah, that's tough. I guess Dalton Schultz. I'd drop Dalton Schultz to pick up Deuce Vaughn potentially. I like the whole team. I don't think you need to make any other moves. Jahmyr Gibbs, I love as the flex option. This is a solid team. The only thing I'd work on is using Devontae Adams to get that top 1 to 2, 3 overall quarterback. Past that, there's nothing to do there. Nothing to do there. Is it Superflex?
No.
It's not Superflex, right? Okay. Ron, you're live. Aloha, I'll keep checking for follow-up questions from you, Aloha, so I appreciate you. Another team I've been playing in this 12-team league for years. If you got any follow-ups, I'm going to look for it, Aloha, but man, that's great. I also saw your bold prediction. I'll get to that in a minute. I'm on the clock. Ron Navy, go.
Hey, what's up, Smitty?
What's up?
This is a fun draft tonight.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah. It's been
I'm going to time out.
a busy day.
I guess I'll take A-Chain.
Don't
Yeah.
time out.
Yeah, been a big busy day. Oh man, I just got out of the draft. Puppy, there we go. Let's look at Aloha's bold prediction real quick. I'm gonna put this on the board. Let's put this on the board right now. $50 haulers get you on the board right behind me. It's for seat season, and Aloha's bold prediction is as follows. I'm gonna put this on the list. It's the third one. I've got these predictions so far. We got Matt O's. I got Aloha's. Aloha's is Trey Lance will be the next Jalen Hurts and take San Francisco to the Super Bowl. That is a nice, bold one, bro. So, aloha. This is receipt season, people. This is receipt season, people. This is where you want to drop your prediction. Okay, aloha. Trey. Next. Hurts. San Fran. Super Bowl. And what's today's date? May what? 9th?
Yeah, sir. May 9th.
5/9/23. Okay, aloha. Aloha's prediction will be able to be seen above my head during live streams. Aloha. Trey Lance next. Hurts Super Bowl. San Francisco Super Bowl 5/9/23.
Smitty, you're on the clock.
Oh God. Okay, thanks. Look at Ron Navy, such a stand-up guy. Could have timed out. Let's go Tyler Boyd, I suppose. So we got Joe Burrow, Boyd. Don't have a lot of stacks going on, but I didn't have the camera switch. Took Tyler Boyd. So I've got. What do you think of my team so far, Ron? From the 8 spot, not bad, huh? Kelsey, St. Brown, Pickens, Jameson Williams, Tyler Boyd, Kenneth Walker, Swift, Charbonnet, A-Chain, and Joe Burrow.
Yeah, it was key that you got Walker and Charbonnet together. I stayed away from Charb because there was no need for me to pick them.
Let's look at your squad. This is your squad. Aaron Rodgers, Jahmyr Gibbs, Miles Sanders, Dameon Pierce. Those wide receivers are filthy. The key will be like if Miles Sanders or Pierce is a top 7 to 10 running back. That's how this team is going to be. That team. You need it. You need to have that.
Yeah.
Harris, you're live.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Schmitty? What's happening? How's it going, man?
I'm good. What's up, man?
I wanted to come in with a bold take tonight.
All right.
I wanted to make sure you get the receipt on this.
Yeah, bro. The receipts only go on the board though.
Oh, okay. No, it's fine. I want.
But you could put out in the ether, sure. I mean, we can't put on the board. But yeah, go ahead and throw it out there. Go.
All right. My prediction is next season that Sam Howell is going to be a top 12 QB, and Terry McLaurin's going to be as well a top 12 wide receiver.
Yeah, I like Sam Howell. He's the closest thing to a surprise quarterback breakout that we have. I mean, if we're to dig deep, like go really deep, he's the guy for sure. I like him a lot. It's a good prediction. Real quickly, Aloha said. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say Aloha. Aloha wants to know, it's Superflex Dynasty. It's Superflex. Is Wilson worth a 2024 second rounder? Is Zach Wilson worth a 20? No, Zach Wilson's not worth anything to me. Aloha. But this is a Superflex. So who's your other quarterback? Daniel Jones. I got you. Okay, then here, Aloha, let me recorrect what advice I gave you. I would keep Herbert, and I would try and trade Devontae Adams and Daniel Jones for a slightly better quarterback. Probably could maybe get a Fields. Fields or Burrow or Trevor Lawrence. I would give up Devontae Adams in a dynasty Superflex to upgrade my Danny Dimes into Trevor Lawrence, Fields, or Burrow. And if you can't get that done, throw in Laporta, throw in Schultz, throw in Quentin Johnston. But that's a huge upgrade at quarterback. Oh, I'm on the clock again. Okay. So that's a huge upgrade, bro. If you could turn Danny Dimes and Mixon, Danny Dimes and Adams and Mixon, I'd literally do all three. I'd give Danny Dimes, Mixon, and Devontae Adams to get into Fields or Burrow using Daniel Jones. I would easily do that. I would give up a future first rounder with Danny Dimes to turn it into Fields or Burrow. And if I had to give up a little more as well, Quentin Johnston's a very nice throw-in. You don't even necessarily need him for your lineup. I'm not saying get rid of all your depth. I'm not saying trade Adams, Quentin Johnston, everybody in your first rounders, and just but combinations of that to get Danny Dimes into a Burrow or a Fields or maybe a Trevor Lawrence. That would be my focal point. Past that, there's nothing to do, bro. This team is absolute straight fire. You got Gibbs. Would I like to turn Walker into Bijan using Adams or Quentin Johnston, or Adams and Quentin Johnston? So Walker, Adams, and Quentin Johnston for Bijan. Yeah, but no one's probably going to do that. There's not very much to upgrade here. I love your team. You need Charbonnet. You have to get Charbonnet. And you have to try and upgrade that Danny Dimes spot. Past that, it's a great team, but you have first priority would be to get Charbonnet. Then it would be to upgrade the quarterback. That would be my number one priority. Like Quentin Johnston, I would have taken Charbonnet over Quentin Johnston in your situation 100 times out of 100. So you could probably pull off that 1-for-1. Tough to say. Harris, what else you got? Harris just left. Thank you, Aloha. Appreciate you. All right, I'm on the clock. Ron, what else? What else is going on?
Well, not much. Just trying to get acclimated to the whole dynasty thing. You know, I'm making strides. I did. I took Allen, my first pick, then Najee, and then I traded to get the 2.4 pick, and that hasn't come up yet. But Diggs is still there, but I'm also thinking Olave. I don't know.
I like Olave a lot in Dynasty. If it's Dynasty, I go Olave.
He's younger, and his stats are pretty much same as Diggs, but he's a lot younger, and I don't know.
Olave
Olave
over Diggs in Dynasty 100 times out of 100 for me. If I trade Walker, do I still try and get Charbonnet? Yeah. I mean, Charbonnet is a great standalone in Dynasty, but at the same time, you know, you only trade Walker if you're going to get like a Bijan, or you're going to get a Breece Hall, or you're going to get somebody like that. I love the Gibbs pick. Don't trade Gibbs at all. Gibbs is phenomenal. That's a great player to have. Just try and do those things I suggested, and if you have any more, call in or drop another message. Ryan dropped a super chat here. Dynasty, AJ Brown, D Hop for Fields, Christian Watson, George Pickens. I don't know if this is super flex or not. I imagine it's not. Otherwise, there's no way you could get this. So AJ Brown and Hopkins for Fields, Christian Watson, George Pickens. Give me Fields, Christian Watson, and George Pickens all day long. In fact, that's highway robbery. Even in a 1 QB setting, this is highway robbery, because I would argue that Christian Watson is quietly as good as AJ Brown. I'm not saying to draft that way. I'm saying when I look at Watson's 4th round ADP, I laugh. And so if you're telling me that I can downgrade, quote unquote, AJ Brown to Watson, and I love AJ Brown. This is not a knock on AJ Brown. It's more about how much I just love Christian Watson. And in that quote unquote downgrade, you're gonna give up Hopkins for Pickens and Fields. This is veto police material.
King 25 code 428. Dispatch veto Popo. Popo has been dispatched. King 25 out.
Yeah, his name's Ryan Dillon. Ryan Dillon. He's got some kind of weird avatar. Yeah. He's definitely fantasy football dangerous. Yes, come get him. He'll be here for the next, I don't know. We've been live for 39 minutes. We'll be here for another 20. Thanks.
That's funny.
King 25 code 4.
Got him.
That's hilarious.
He blasted him, bro. Pickens over Hopkins in Dynasty. I'd rather have Pickens. Hopkins is old, you know. Watson over AJ Brown. I honestly, like, if someone said, Smitty, should I trade A.J. Brown for Watson? I would say no because you don't have to. But would I be? But I would definitely give the advice of it. Easily, Watson could be as good. Like A.J. Brown's got a lot of knee issues. I just don't. This is a smash.
Yeah.
Okay, says I'm here to fight with you, Smitty. In order to fight with me, you'd have to have a valid point. So it's basically like you walking up to a brick wall and you're starting to punch it. Okay.
You're on the clock.
What do I got here? I'm looking for a wide receiver, I think. Man, it's like Snipe City up in here.
Do you expect any less?
I like my team though, man. I love my team. This feels like one of those like potential winners. I kind of wished I win Olave now because I should have just.
When you passed him up, I was like, "Oh man, I'm
Well,
all over that." I
got so many Olave shares that I thought I'd diversify a little bit. But now that this team's shaping into form, it's not that I don't love St. Brown. St. Brown's a monster, but I'm such a huge Olave fan this year that like if I had Olave on this squad, well, St. Brown's really close. I just would have liked this squad a little bit more, and I love this squad. I love it. This thing is phenomenal. I mean, the thing is, when you look at my squad, this is like one of those teams where, when you look at it and you say to yourself, oh, it's okay, and then you scroll down and the team has Kelsey, and you're like, oh, now I got to, like I was looking at the whole team as if it didn't have Kelsey. Now I got to re-look at it. I feel like if you're looking at this team without knowing Kelsey's on it, you're scrolling through, you're still liking it. You're like, Burrow, Love, okay. Walker, Swift, Charbonnet, A-Chain, Chase Brown, Amon-Ra, George Pickens, Jameson Williams, Boyd. Okay, it's pretty good. Travis Kelce. Holy crap. Never mind. I like it. I do like your team too, Ron. George from the Bay said we're going to be embarrassed by, well, he didn't quite say those words. He said he was here to dominate. He had a plan of attack. Apparently, it made me feel like he was basically saying, Smitty, you're going to get dominated in this draft and be ashamed of yourself. I'm looking at his team. I don't feel scared. I'm not petrified at all. I'm not a petrified Peter when I look at this squad, Ron. You tell me what you think. Lamar, Trey, Austin, Eckler, Barkley, Etienne. Very good running backs for sure. Those three running backs are solid. Etienne's your flex. But McLaurin, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Zay Flowers, Bateman, Sutton, all very decent. And then Schultz, decent, but that's not making me a petrified Peter. All right, let's see here. I'm going to go Downs. I like Joshua Downs a lot. Josh Downs. I don't know what else to take here, man. We are just in Snipe City. Dodge. TD Strikers is up. Ron Navy's team. Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sanders, Pierce. Little light on the running backs, but they're all starters. So, it's okay. Okay, you just took Jaylen Warren. Wide receivers.
Yeah. What you think about me taking Hooker with the 1.12 in rookie dynasty draft?
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up on your messages. Sometimes when there's a few, it takes me a bit to get back to it. But I would say Hooker at 1.12 is pretty. Is Superflex?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good in Superflex. I was going to say in non-Superflex it was.
I wouldn't have done it if it was.
Yeah, no, in Superflex it's good. He could sit the whole year, but then again, all it takes is this bad play, and then boom, the guy's in there.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah. I wanted to learn the offense and stuff and get better. Everything else is gone. That's why I went Charbonnet, but I also traded the 7 pick because I got those 2 picks. I traded that for Walker, so now I got Walker and Charbonnet, and then with the next pick, because I don't have that many more draft picks left, so I traded up to the 112 and got Hooker, rookie quarterback, has a lot of potential, a lot of upside.
Yeah.
So,
Are you doing another draft? Aloha, we're going to drop a $3 Garrett Wilson private draft. It won't be inside this, prize pool, this big prize pool type of draft. It'll be a private $3 draft. The prizes are very low, but the Garrett Wilson autographed jersey is what you're going for. So hang tight. I'll be dropping a link on that at the end of this draft. It'll be a slow draft. $3. Again, I believe on a $3 draft, and the winnings are like $30 or something. But it's not about that. It's about doing a private draft together. And as many of them as I collect together, the winner, the leading scorer through week 17 out of all the private drafts that are coined Garrett Wilson jersey drafts, we will crown the winner.
You're on the clock. You're on the clock. There you go. Who'd you take? Dell?
Tank
Yep,
Dell.
Tank Dell.
Tank.
Hey,
Tank the snake.
you're taking those sleeper wide receivers. Those are nice picks.
Tank don't stank. Tank Dell is he's special. He's special. Round 15 feels good too. I don't feel like that's a reach.
No, it's not. Down here, you kind of got to take. I mean, we don't have only a few more rounds left. You got to take the guys who.
Right, the Ryan says he lives for the private drafts. Garrett Wilson jersey, baby. Looks like somebody just subscribed to the content on thefantasyfootballshow.com. So we're gonna give a little shout out here. Jonathan, appreciate you, my guy. Jonathan just subscribed to the content, thefantasyfootballshow.com. Go get you a membership, baby. I got one-on-one text advice. I got different products. Jonathan just did it. You can do it too. Also, join the Discord over on thefantasyfootballshow.com. In the top navigation, you'll see a Discord button, the very, very top right there, and those horizontal links at the very top. Discord link. Get in the Discord. So look for that link. Aloha. Got offered C. Watson and Ritter for ETN and Gabe Davis. Got offered Christian Watson and Ritter for ETN and Gabe Davis. That's tough because I love Watson and ETN about the same, to be honest, in a dynasty. Hold on, I'm on the clock again. That's a really, really tough one. I think I probably lean, if you need a quarterback badly, I lean Ritter, the Ritter side. But I don't know, just because he's a quarterback doesn't mean that you don't have a better super flex running back or wide receiver option. You know what I mean? So it's not like you in a super flex. Super flex is different than mandatory 2 QB. So you said super flex, so you don't have to start that. It's advantageous too, but you don't have to do it. That's why it's a nice gamble in a super flex to go quarterback in the top 5 overall if you get a top 5 pick, and then literally not go quarterback until like round 4 or 5. It's the best approach in fantasy to win a super flex and dominate a super flex draft. But that's in a super flex, not a mandatory 2 QB. It's very different. But I would take Watson or Ritter. Shelf life's longer for Watson. It's dynasty. And then on top of that, you're getting a quarterback. And Ritter could be okay. I'm not saying he's great, but he could be okay. So I would definitely take the Watson side. Is Tank Dell their number one? Probably. Mechie's coming back from, the cancer, and, we're all rooting for him for sure. And I hope it works out and he becomes an absolute, monster. But I think Tank Dell is going to be the lead dog there. So, rock out, you're live. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up?
Can I give you a rundown of my team?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm my best, but let's see, T-Law, Daniel Jones, Sam Howell at quarterback, and then JT, Gibbs, Swift, Javonte Williams.
Hold on 1 second. JT, Gibbs, Swift, okay?
Javonte Williams,
Okay.
Hubbard, and then Jack Williams.
You're a little muffled there.
Yeah, I can hardly hear him.
You're muffled.
Hubbard and Zach Williams.
Gotcha.
Zach Evans.
Okay.
And then wide receiver, Olave, Watson, Flowers, Moore, Hyatt, and Downs.
Nice job. Tight end?
And Schultz, Higbee, and Woods.
Nice, man. It's a good team. I got to pick a tight end here, Ron. You like Gesicki? He's okay, right? I mean, he's got a decent spot. I mean, he'll be used.
I like Musgrave better than in Green Bay than I do Gesicki. That's just me.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Gesicki just because I need somebody that... But yeah, I do like Musgrave. I just don't know how long it'll take. But Gesicki's a good third tight end. Okay, I might need another wide receiver. Anyways, rock out. That's a good team, bro. I like that. JT, Gibbs, Swift, Javonte is that later guy when he gets in there. Olave and Watson are fantastic. You took a little bit of your weakest link is a guy that we really like in Flowers, so it's like that could turn out to be very, very nice. I like it, bro. Very good team. I'm going to show the board real quick for everybody. Or let's go over the teams real quickly. And I'm going to go across from the 12 pick. So the 12 pick has Jonathan Taylor, Mahomes, DK, Amari Cooper, Dalvin Cook, Brandon Ayuk, Darren Waller. Darren Waller in round 7 is kind of ridiculous. I think it's good value. That's pretty crazy. Is there risk? Sure, but 7th round. And we're talking at the end of the 7th. That's really the 8th round. That's practically the 8th round. This team's pretty good. DK in the 3rd. I'm hot and cold on that. And it was the end of the 3rd, so it's almost like a 4th rounder. So I guess I'm not huge on Amari Cooper at that 3rd, 4th turn. Even though Cooper, could be argued being worth that. I get it. Dalvin Cook. It's not a bad squad, but George from the Bay.
You're on the ball.
Yeah, George, hang tight. George, hang tight, George. George, calm down. Ooh. Who am I going with here? Come on, somebody stand out. I got the time's ticking away. We'll go Charlie Jones again. That's what. That's who. Scott Hansen said to look out for, and I got Boyd and Charlie Jones. Kind of a good strategy for me because if let's say one of the, let's say there's some injuries in Cincinnati, like I could end up having some points there. All right, let's go to. So here's that guy's team: Anthony Richardson, Russell Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, let me start with this team. We'll start with this team. Anthony Richardson, Russell Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo, Chubb, Monty, Zeke, Tyler Algier, Justin Jefferson, Judy, Pittman, Tony, Andrews, Mark Andrews at tight end. That's a pretty good team. I'm not in love with the wide receivers, to be honest. I think Judy and Pittman and Tony are... Tony's okay. I like Tony. He's got upside. Quentin Johnson. But this wide receiver room, only Justin Jefferson would scare me. And I think because of that, I should be petrified of the running backs, and I'm not. Nick Chubb and Monty, it's good. So I like the team. It's not bad. It's not a bad team at all. I think it definitely could have potential. Dan the Grim Reacher at the, what is this? This is the, okay, yeah. He has Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott. Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott. This is one of those strategies that I think not a lot of people deploy that I do kind of like it. Your brute force, stacking those quarterbacks in a 1 QB format, but you're getting that rotation going to where you could rival somebody that gets the top quarterback in the draft, So it definitely has its advantages, and I like it. Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, really solid trio, in my opinion. Kamara is obviously a risky play, and he's your 3rd running back, so you don't necessarily need it to land quite the same, so I like it. I think your backup running backs are a little shaky. So if Kamara doesn't land or gets suspended, you literally have just the 2 RBs, and then if you hit bye weeks, you could get into some trouble. But it's a good team. Let me go back to it real quickly. Wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Christian Kirk, Mingo, Pat Freiermuth at tight end. Very decent balance to this team. I love Pollard, Brees, and Kamara. I really, really do. I love Trevor Lawrence. I think maybe where I would maybe have gone I would have maybe used that Dak Prescott pick on something else that would have helped my wide receiver crew. But then again, I don't know who was on the clock when you made that pick. Maybe it felt like the best pick to make. But I don't know that I love the wide receivers as much as I love Mingo. But I love Mingo as like it's pretty good. It's a pretty good team, Dan. It's not bad. DJ Speedy, Goff, Kyler, Bryce Young, Matthew Stafford, Bijan, Jacobs, Rashad White, Javonte, very good. T. Higgins, Hopkins, Mike Williams, Mike Evans. Mike Evans really is a great value in these best ball drafts. I mean, what a steal. He's your fourth wide receiver. He's better than Mike Williams. He's better than Mike. You took him after Mike Williams. You took Mike Williams at 51 overall. You took Mike Evans at 70, and he's better than Mike Williams in my opinion. So great job there. Irv Smith, Jelani Woods. It's a good team. I don't mind it. I mean, the quarterbacks, you got 4 quarterbacks, but I'm not really scared of the quarterback stable. The running backs, it all kind of comes down to Josh Jacobs. I'm not a big fan of Jacobs this year, but if he works out and he proves me wrong, then you have a really, really solid chance, DJ. Dan Graham, DJ. Okay, C. Knox, appreciate you. Justin Herbert, Geno Smith, J.K. Pacheco, James Cook, McKinnon. I like that you got McKinnon and Pacheco. Pacheco had the wrist surgery. He also had a shoulder surgery. He had a torn labrum. So very smart move there. Singletary, Kareem Hunt. We'll see where Kareem Hunt lands. That could be a really crafty pick for you. J.K. Dobbins, Pacheco. Not scared of the running backs, though, I'll just tell you. So I better be petrified. I better be a petrified Peter of these wide receivers once we get to them. Let me just tell you that. Because I feel like I should be at this point. Cooper Kupp, Waddle, Devontae Smith, Keenan Allen, Zay Jones. That is pretty good. Waddle, not my favorite second-round player, but you got Devontae Smith very late, and he's argued as a second-round player. So in a sense, you got 2 top of the thirds, let's say, in those 2 guys. Instead of a second and a third, you got 2 very high-ranked third-round picks for me. Because I don't love Devontae Smith in round 2, but some would take him there. I don't like Waddle in 2, but I like both of them in 3, and you got both of them, so fantastic job. Running backs, yeah, it's good. It's a good team. You need a couple things to happen, but we all do. Ron Navy, TD Strikers, Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, Kenny Pickett, very formidable quarterback situation. I love Aaron Rodgers as a value pick. I think Derek Carr could easily surprise a lot of people, and so that's good. And then Ron loves Pickett, so regardless of what anybody else thinks of him, if he loves him, he's got his quarterback stable on lock. Jahmyr Gibbs, Miles Sanders, Dameon Pierce, Jalen Warren, Deuce Vaughn. I love the Deuce Vaughn pick. Jalen Warren, Deuce Vaughn, both kind of similar players. They're the backups, but they still could be used on the field, like even when the starters are healthy. So there's advantages to picking those kind of guys in best ball because, I mean, in a bye week situation or your player's playing hurt or whatever, these guys are kind of always out there and they might get a touchdown in 40 yards and all of a sudden they're starting for you that week randomly. Miles Sanders, I'm kind of wait and see on him. Definitely feel like there's a lot of upside with Miles, but I find it hard to pick him. But at 53 overall, wasn't a bad pick. Garrett Wilson, Olave, London, that's filthy. Dalton Kincaid, I love that. Quietly love this tight end room. I would say this is really good, and it depends. I mean, those wide receivers are just off the charts. So that's amazing. It all comes down to Miles Sanders and Dameon Pierce. If Ron gets, and I believe in Jahmyr Gibbs, so I think that will land. If Ron gets top 10 running back talent out of both especially, but at least one of Miles Sanders and Dameon Pierce, this will be one of those teams that could easily be talked about at the end of the year as being advancing through round 1, and then we'll see how it goes. So that's a nice squad. Daniel Jones, Brock Purdy. Is this one of our guys? The problem with this team right here is like Brock Purdy's not even playing yet. And so to have just 2 quarterbacks when I think 3 is vital. I think 3 is vital because the bye week, what if there's an injury? So Daniel Jones and Brock, that's really rough. McCaffrey, Henry, A.J. Dillon, pretty solid. Like you clearly took your quarterback value and put it in your running back value. Of course, do I worry about Henry playing a full season? Yeah, but in best ball, 3rd round value, you got him at pick 30. I'm adjusting and adapting myself to my own Derrick Henry takes because if you can get him at pick 30, you're really like you get 12 games out of that, and he's playing ball at Derrick Henry level for 12 games unless he gets hurt the rest of the year. Like you kind of get your value out of that. Of course, you don't want that. You don't want to fall flat in the playoffs, the fantasy playoffs. But I'm just saying that pick 30 is not bad. Let's take a look at these wide receivers because this guy sacrificed at his quarterback. Problem is, no matter how good his running backs and wide receivers are, the quarterback could be his hang-up because if Daniel Jones gets injured because he runs a lot or he's playing like garbage and then he has a bye week and Brock Purdy's not back or Brock Purdy comes back and gets re-injured, like that could be very scary for him, and it doesn't matter what the rest of his team's doing. CeeDee Lamb, Watson, Godwin, Dotson. I like Dotson way more than I like Treylon Burks, and you got Dotson below him. That's a great pick. And Kittle and McBride. I think this might be a Niner fan. He's got Brock Purdy, McCaffrey. He's got Kittle. It's a good team. I mean, it really is a good team. Lamb, Watson, Chris Godwin, Burks, Jahan Dotson, Kittle, McBride, McCaffrey, Derrick Henry. This is a good squad. If you had focused on getting even like a Sam Howell, I took Sam Howell. I'll show you my Sam Howell pick in a second. Even like a Sam Howell would have given you just a little bit of like safety net, you know? Like this team would have been, it still is good, really good, but it would have been scary if it had the right quarterback, you know, support. Tua, Stroud, Ritter feel very similar about this quarterback room. Stroud may not, he may develop really fast. He may not. Tough to say for rookie quarterbacks, you know, especially in that situation. I personally, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I would rather bank on expecting Stroud to start very slow and maybe comes on at the end of the year. That would be my expectation. And the fact that Tua could get hurt at any moment without Mike White, I would have grabbed Mike White. You could have got him very cheap, and then you would have kind of secured this up a little bit. So make sure you keep that in mind next time, because Mike White would have been a little bit of a solution to this. Ramondre, Aaron Jones, James Conner, okay, Tyreek Hill, Adams, Debo, very solid wide receiver room, no doubt. Hawkinson, I mean, this is like a bowling pin. You know, it's like really, really skinny and narrow at the top, kind of starts widening a little bit. You know, Ramondre and Aaron Jones, it's okay, it's good, it's very good. Not great, but very good. And then Tyreek Hill, Adams, Debo. It's like a bowling pin. This team is a bowling pin. It's very strong and beefy at the bottom. Oh, Dodge. Oh, look at this team. Look at this beauty right here. Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Sam Howell. Feeling really good about that QB room. Kenneth Walker, DeAndre Swift, Zach Charbonnet, A-Chain, Chase Brown. One could say maybe I didn't get enough, like I should have grabbed one more secure running back, like maybe like a Jaylen Warren, like Ron got somebody that's going to play for sure, because we don't know what Chase Brown's role is going to be. We don't know what A-Chain's role is going to be. So I could be playing with fire. But then again, you say to yourself, like, Walker and Charbonnet could both be useful. So, like, let's say injury strikes my whole team because Swift is a huge injury risk to go along with A-Chain, Chase Brown, and then having a duo. But at the same time, maybe Charbonnet and Walker play for me both. You know, and those are my two RBs, and that's my worst case scenario. So it could kind of, that cuffing situation could kind of save me. St. Brown, George Pickens, Jamison Williams, Tyler Boyd, Josh Downs, Nathaniel Dell, Tank Dell, Charlie Jones. And then really this, you know, feels like, okay, the wide receivers aren't the best in this league, but they're very decent and respectable. Running backs are really good. I think the quarterback play is awesome. And then you're like, okay, so this is an okay team, but then Travis Kelce. And then it kind of just, you know, flips it back into this is like a bench a bench press bar with 45-pound plates on the other side. The other guy's team was a bowling pin. Mine's heavy here, thins out a little bit, then gets heavy on the other side. Kelsey and Burrow, Kenneth Walker, Swift. I like this team a lot. I think I did pretty good. Would I rather have had Olave? I should have just taken my guy instead of mixing it up. I would have been very happy. But I do love St. Brown. I love St. Brown a lot. It's a good team. George from the Bay says it's a 4 out of 10. He says my running backs are trash. Okay, George. George, we're coming to your team, so you might want to be a little careful. I've got all these buttons. You don't. Josh Allen just... Hey, this quarterback... This quarterback crew is sick. In a 1 QB, though. So we'll see what he does with the rest of the team. I haven't glanced down yet. You guys are looking at it. I haven't looked. But if he has remotely good RBs and wide receivers, this could be a dangerous approach because he will dominate quarterback scoring, but you have to land your picks. You cannot go early quarterback twice, 2 quarterbacks in the top 30 in a 1 QB best ball if you don't land your other picks. But it is a crafty, fun approach to do because of the pure domination you'll have at QB. Oh, and he's got Cam Akers, Gibson, Kendre Miller, Mostert, Tank Bigsby, Chuba Hubbard, and Jerome Ford. Probably the worst running back crew I've ever seen in my life.
I was gonna say he's got Mr. Fumbleitis.
Oh my God! Wow!
Concussion.
Wow! He might not have a starter in week 1. He might. His leading scorer might be on the bench in Justin Fields. This is unbelievable. Okay, let's go to his wide receivers. Diggs, DJ Moore, Addison, Gabe Davis. Okay, this is a very formidable wide receiver crew. I mean, you're legitimate for sure on the wide receivers. You're legitimate on the quarterbacks, obviously. You got the best quarterback stable in the entire draft. And you've got a really solid wide receiver room. And Kyle Pitts and Knox are very, very decent. I think you should have got a third tight end, honestly, in that with Knox, because you don't know what Knox is going to even be. It could be all blocking, but anyway, the running back rooms, that's atrocious. Amazing quarterbacks, best in the whole entire draft. Top, middle of the pack at least wide receiver room, and then just one of the worst assemblies of a running back crew I've ever seen in my life. Like you couldn't fit a Swift. You couldn't fit a Swift in there. You couldn't fit.
Actually, Miller has the possibility of being his top running back.
Yeah, in week 1. Look, Mostert might be okay in week 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe Akers is actually pretty decent for a while. We don't really know. George from the Bay is next. So here's John. George, don't worry. We're getting to you. This pure domination. I'm petrified. I'm shaking in my boots, George. Hurts, Mac Jones. You should have got Zappy. That would have been, John, that would have been a real nice, safe move to just secure the room up. 49er says he did what he could. You did fine. Was this you, Boot?
He said 49ers said that you sniped Swift from him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I didn't know if Boost was in our group. I'm sorry, Boost. Boost, at least take my my compliments on your quarterback crew and your tight end crew. You did really good in your wide receivers. It's just I think what you did is, if you would have just, instead of taking Fields, you would have just gone with the RB and then got like a Josh or a Jordan Love or a Aaron Rodgers as your backup. It would have been a better move for you. So just keep that in mind. But bro, it's $5, so you took a stab at a really fun strategy. It backfired. But don't feel bad about it.
Wouldn't that be funny, Smitty, if we go all the way through and his team makes it into the playoffs and it goes like crazy?
Well, if it does, it'll be because of Cam Akers and Kendre Miller. So hopefully it does for you. But all you have to do is just, and it's $5. You're testing out strategies. Sometimes I do a $5 draft and I hate my team. So 49er, don't take offense to it. Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones. You should have taken Zappy. Najee, Mixon, Penny, Gainwell, Roshan, Zach Evans. I don't really like this running back crew. Of course, I like Najee, but I feel like below Najee, it's very shaky. A.J. Brown and Hurts is a great stack. Calvin Ridley is very risky, but tons of upside. I can understand why everybody's so excited, and I do like Calvin Ridley a lot. I think there's some major upside, but I feel like he's climbing too high for me. I don't know. Do we have him on the Satellite Men?
Satellite
I
men,
don't think you.
Yeah, I do.
space cadets in training.
He's right here. I'm taking him off. I just removed him because he's going in like the 30s. That's just too high for me. I'm excited about him. Maybe I need to think it over a minute. I just clicked the X. He's still technically hidden on there. Maybe I'll come back with it. I don't know. I just feel like Ridley at 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, that's kind of where he's been going. It's a high expectation for a guy that's been out of football for 2 years. But
if it hits it good on Satellite Man, I mean, why not be a Satellite Man? If he has a killer year, then he's worth every bit of that because we've been getting them lower anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a good point that we've had him on.
Space cadets in training.
Let me think about it. Where is Ridley's face? There he is. Yeah, I'll think about leaving him on here just because of the benefit we all got from drafting him early, but I'm going to revisit the Satellite Men list anyway and just completely annihilate it and tear it down and rebuild it in a way that makes a lot of sense. I don't want to add too many more men to the Moon Man list, but I want to have some amazing like Moon Men and trading type rankings, and we'll figure it out. Akers and Gibson are going to smash. My team is going to win. Ha ha ha, says 49er. Keep the faith, bro. Keep the faith. Trust your gut. Just traded Lamb and Devontae Smith, third rounder for Jamar. My wide receivers are Chase, Wilson, Judy, and J-Mo. I like that trade. I mean, you definitely gave up a lot of talent for sure. But if you start 4 wide receivers, then maybe you score less if let's say Devontae Smith and Lamar don't miss a single game. Like that might score more. It's tough to say, but I would say if you only start 3 wide receivers and there's not like a flex that you're putting that wide receiver in, I don't know. I probably would have rather Chase myself, but you could argue it either way. It's a tough trade.
I don't like Judy, but I like him after week 6.
Yeah. Okay. So this team right here,
Hopkins from last year.
this team's good. I like it. I don't love the running backs, but let's say Mixon has one more elite year. You should have got Chase Brown. I took him. You should have got him. That would have helped you out a lot, and this would have made this team a lot more steady. Juju, not a fan of Juju. I don't like any of these wide receivers below Ridley. Brandon Cooks, not a big fan of him this year. Juju, don't even want him. Mooney's okay. Alec Pierce, I fell off on Alec Pierce. I like him. I'm still rooting for him, but I'm not expecting a single thing. So that's kind of my take on it. Am I saying he's a bust? No, because he has no value. But if, I'll be rooting for him. Scantling, I don't want.
Get the ball thrown to him more than what than he did last because what's his name couldn't get him the ball at all. But if Richardson in there, he might be able to get Pierce the ball.
All right, let's go for George. George from the Bay. Lamar Jackson, Trey Lance, Baker Mayfield. My concern with your running back room or your quarterback room would be that if Lamar's injury prone, okay, he runs a lot, and I do feel like it's going to be a whole lot better in Baltimore this year because I think Munkin's going to try and dial some of that back. I don't think it'll hurt Lamar because he'll throw a little more. So it's not like he's just going to get like points removed from his stat sheet. But he does run a lot naturally, and I feel like there's injury risk, right? There's been for 3 years. So Trey Lance having massive injury risk. Trey Lance may not even start week 1. And don't any of you come in here and say that's BS, he's starting week 1. Your opinion can be that you think he'll start week 1, but don't act like Shanahan is not capable of starting Sam Bradford. What's his name? Darnold. Sam Darnold is very much in the cards for playing. Sam Bradford would do better than Sam Darnold. Let me just tell you that. Sam Darnold is very much in play for the starting role. Like, you should have taken Sam Darnold and you would have got him in this draft. That would have helped you, George. And I'm being totally honest with you. I'm going to tell you when I love it and tell you when I don't. But Baker Mayfield's job is not secure. Trey Lance's job is not secure. And Lamar Jackson runs a ton. So this feels risky to me, even though there's upside. George, I would still say in terms of upside, I'd probably say your quarterback room is definitely in at least the middle of the pack in terms of like upside. Like, there's a lot of upside here, but this is a very, very extremely risky trio without any of the protections or cuffing involved that would make me feel comfortable. Trey Lance and Purdy would have been something a little different, but then at the same time, like, Sam Darnold could be the starter. You know, I think Purdy will start once he's ready for sure, but are they rushing him? This is the same coach in Kyle Shanahan that put Purdy back in the game after he completely tore his UCL. Okay, so Austin Eckler, Barkley, Etienne, arguably one of, although it doesn't have tons of depth, but because all three are so good, you might be fine with this because you're only required to start 2 RBs, but you do have injuries, you do have bye weeks. Sometimes those injuries and bye weeks hit you at the same time, so it feels a little bit more comfortable to have 5 RBs. But Eckler, Barkley, and Etienne, you could argue this trio is top notch. Trey, week 1, Smitty, better add him to your Moon Men list. This is coming from a Niner fan that has, and I appreciate you, by the way, that has complete Niner goggles on. And you are going to act like this isn't a mess right now in San Francisco, but it's an absolute disaster, bro. You have all the top dog players hanging out with Sam Darnold, and you can say, what, they're not allowed to hang out? There's a perception going on. Trey is being outcasted, bro. And it's not just happening on the coach level. It's kind of happening, whether it's meant to be this way or not. It's happening on the player level too. And you have your coaching staff and your GM saying that Sam Darnold's going to split first team reps. You would not say that about Brock Purdy. You would not say that. If someone said, hey, is Brock Purdy your guy? Yeah, he's our guy. You wouldn't mention first team reps at all in the conversation. Not to mention they tried to trade him. So anybody coming in here, you can dial in. The phone line's open. You're going to run your mouth about how this is a lock situation. Trey's getting Nobody wants Trey to succeed more than me, but I'm being objective about it. Eckler, Barkley, Travis Etienne, Jamal Williams, one of the best running crews in this entire draft, I will admit. Nice job. Trey in here says, I am indeed being outcasted. So it looks like Trey Lance is in the building, in the chat tonight, mock drafting with us. Thank you, or live drafting with us. Thank you, Trey. Be careful not to be on the property while you're doing this, or you'll get suspended for 6 games, Trey. Just so you know. I will bet anyone Lance starts more than 8 games this season. Okay, George, here's the bet. Does George from the Bay and I have this $99 membership bet? I will give you a lifetime membership to thefantasyfootballshow.com, the $99 package, if Trey Lance starts more than 8 games. So that is 9. Your words, not mine. He must start 9 games or more, and you purchase. If he starts 9 games or more, I will gift you a lifetime content membership valued at $99 on thefantasyfootballshow.com, George. Okay? And if Trey Lance does not start 9 games, more than 8 games, so 9 games, if he does not start it, you buy one. Deal, George? And call in to confirm. Deal, he says.
He just typed deal. Yeah.
Deal. We got to put that on the board. 8 games. Let me put right here. 9 games. That's the easiest. I mean, you're buying a membership. You're getting value, but that was easy. That was like taking candy from a baby. Number one, Trey. Like, if Brock was out for 9 weeks, we're still worried he even starts any of them. Okay. Trey wants to know, can I get the big package if my prediction of Judy finishing 5 wide receiver spots over London hits? Yeah, that's an easy one too. As much as I want to do that, I can't just all day do all these two. It has to resonate with me. Maybe we'll look at that one. I definitely feel like that one's taking candy from a baby too. But I just can't open the door to like that's all I do. Okay, anyway. So this team, wide receivers. So given that you have a good quarterback crew, you have a very good running back crew, your wide receivers are not scary at all. I don't think they're horrible, but they're not. It's not making me a petrified Peter. You know, this is Terry McLaurin, JSN, Zay Flowers, Bateman, Cortland Sutton. I like Hyatt a lot later. That's good value. Mechie, Claypool. I'm scared of that wide receiver room. 0%. But I love the running backs. I like the quarterbacks. I just think it won't work out, you know, in certain weeks for you. And then the Schultz, Mayer, and Likely. Not bad, but also a little sketchy because you don't know Mayer's upside yet. Likely is you don't even know if he's playing or how much time he's going to get. And Dalton Schultz, it's kind of an unknown. Moving teams, new situation. So George, I would have to say if we had to, you know, you came in here barking, I'd have to say I would think the majority of everybody watching, but they can speak for themselves. Type in 1 for Smitty. Type in 2 for George from the Bay. Who won this draft between the two of us? Burrow, Love, Sam Howell, Kenneth Walker, Swift, Charbonnet, A-Chain, Chase Brown, Amon-Ra, Pickens, Jameson, Tyler Boyd, Josh Downs, Nathaniel Dell, Charlie Jones, Kelsey, Cole Kmet, Gesicki. So type in 1 for Smitty. Type in 2 for George from the Bay, who's got Lamar, Trey, Baker, Austin Eckler, Barkley, ETN, Terry McLaurin, JSN, Flowers, Bateman, Sutton, so on. Go ahead and vote. Damn, 0% George, says 49er. Team 7 has the best team, says Trey. That's probably your team, right? JSN will be the wide receiver 1 in Seattle by week 14. Maybe, George, but what's that going to do for you in week 14, pal? You got to get into the big dance. Okay. And the last...
Who do you value more?
Who is this? Who is this?
Oh, it's Super Rudy.
Super Rudy, what's up? You're live.
No, I was wondering, who do you value more in Dynasty, Judy or JSN?
JSN, bro. Come on. Like, I like Judy.
Okay.
I mean, you roll back the clock. You roll back the time. You'll hear me talk a lot of Judy. I love Judy. Amazing route runner. You know, someone might have even said something to me very similar, you know, years ago. What do you think about Judy versus... Come on, dude, Judy. You know, like I'm admitting
that's true.
I've missed on Judy.
Boy has come in.
I missed on Judy because I had high expectations for Judy. But he's had kind of a weird situation. He's, you know, been banged up. He's one of the better route runners in the National Football League, which
He's
is
still
such...
the wide receiver 1 in Denver to me. I think he's better than Sutton.
I agree with you, but where's he been? You know, you could blame it on Russell Wilson last year. I get it, but the bottom line is he keeps disappointing. Judy keeps not stepping up, and he keeps not being that guy. I don't know. I just think
it was funny. It was funny last year. The preseason, you know, was Russell Wilson's going to be an MVP candidate, this and that, and I was like, no way in heck is Denver going anywhere this year. Russell Wilson, no.
Golf says my team beat George from the Bay alone with Kelsey alone. Beat him. I think my team's pretty good. Here's the last team. Money has this team right here. Mahomes, Cousins, very, very, very good QB room. I still like
right
three.
There, that's won the whole draft right there.
You know,
No, I still like
that the Vikings.
I still like 3 QBs though. You got to go 3 QBs, I think, in these best ball drafts. Just because if a quarterback goes down and gets injured, and then the bye week comes, you're screwed, and you can't lose a week in this. You can't lose a week in this. You got to be almost perfect to win these best ball tournaments. So you need another quarterback. You definitely should get a third one. But Mahomes and Cousins, I mean, I like that, but I mean, I don't necessarily like. I personally think I'd take my quarterback crew. You know, at the cost of it, right? Cousins he cost him more. I'd take my cost of entry and would have probably allowed me to do over that. So it comes at a cost. Let's take a look at his team though. Let's see what it looks like. JT Cook, Damian Harris, P. Ryan, Jeff Wilson, Spears, 1 ACL Spears. You should get a discount on that because he only has 1 ACL. So Jeff Wilson's. I just don't like this running crew at all because I think Cook can be a value, but at the same time, like he needs to be had as like your third running back, not your number 2 running back with no depth. And I don't think there's a lot of depth here. So I don't like this team's running back crew right now, even though I love JT. Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, JT, very formidable little crew there so far. Then you go to the wide receivers. It's DK, Cooper, Ayuk, Hollywood, Osborne, Rondell Moore, Thornton. Not bad, but it certainly is not like upper echelon of this draft in terms of wide receivers. It's just not. It's not even. It's probably like below the 50% mark in terms of ranking. I don't think it's in the top 6. So to not have top 6 wide receivers, to not have top 6 running backs, to have arguably top one or 2 or 3 quarterback room for sure. But with a little bit of a caveat that you don't have a third quarterback. So is it really? I don't know. If Mahomes starts, 17 games, then all 17 games, he'll be fine as long as Cousins plays that game. And maybe Cousins outscores him some weeks too. But Waller and Njoku and Dulcich, very decent tight end room. So top 6 maybe tight end room, I would say maybe right around there. Not top 6 wide receivers, not top 6 running backs, and top 1 to 3 quarterback room. So I don't think this team is the best team in the league at all, but it's got some good components to it for sure. Real quickly, before we go to Ben, who's on the line, let me start a fresh little draft here. This will be for the Garrett Wilson jersey drafts. It'll be a slow draft. Ron, I know you won't want to do it. We're doing the $3 slow draft. I'll do a $5. Ron, do you want to do this one? Because if you do, I'll do a $5. Do you want to do it or no?
Well,
because I know you got a lot of drafts going on. So if you don't want to do it, then
well, no, I mean, I got 2 slow drafts already. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I got $5 left, so yeah, let's do it.
Okay, slow draft, $5. 12-person slow, $5 draft. Enter. Oh, hold on. I messed up.
George was like, not slow.
Okay, slow draft, $5. Create private draft. Here we go. Here's the link. I'm going to drop it into the live chat. One second, guys. I'm trying to drop it. Here's the link right now. Dropping it into the live chat. Boom. Okay, let me plug back in, and we'll go to that draft. You'll see it on the screen right here. 11 spots to begin. It'll be slow draft, but because everybody's jumping in live right now, my guess is that it'll feel like a fast draft. Ben, you're up. You're live.
It's full.
You're live.
What's up, Smitty? How's it going?
What's up?
That draft filled very quickly. I got the 6th spot.
Nice. Yeah, it feels real quick.
You got 11.
I got the
sir.
9.
I was thinking, I haven't really been up to date on all the smoke and everything. So go ahead and tell me if this is like something you guys have already talked about. But something I was thinking about the other day is if the 49ers are set on moving forward with Brock Purdy, provided he's healthy going into this season, Trey Lance in Atlanta would be a very interesting thing, at least for fantasy. I mean, that would be an electric offense.
Yeah.
Could be.
So this has been brought up quite a bit, and it's definitely something that, we thought entering the draft it might get kicked up, but they've been and it doesn't matter what they say. Teams are very, very it's all smoke, you know, especially near draft time. And we haven't heard a whole lot about Ridder after the draft, so it could have been smoke to try and get Lamar after the draft as an offer sheet, you know, situation. And they talked down Lamar. They acted like Arthur Blank made some dumb comments about Lamar that would have essentially made Lamar not even want to go there. But they've talked Ridder up. If they're serious about it, they've talked Ridder up a lot. Like, they love Ridder. Like, Ridder's their guy. And I guess Ridder gets what I've heard, he gets really mad when anything goes on that's relating to, like, him or his job or whatever. And so they don't want to piss him off. And so I don't know that they're going to go there. I think what it could be, bro, is if there is a trade, it's like during the season. Like, if Brock's on his way coming back and they don't really feel like Trey's a good fit for him, but he's doing okay, you know, and there's some trade value there. And let's say Ridder starts off like kind of spotty, then I could see Trey being traded, even if he's playing okay. Like, if he's playing at least okay or better, and Brock Purdy's coming in, it gives them a reason to put Brock right in without saying, well, maybe we don't take Brock out. Because if Trey's winning, if they've got, like, let's say Brock comes back in week 5 or 6, and they've won, you know, they're 4-2 or something. Like, you got a dilemma on your hands. Like, do you just pull Trey Lance? So I think to trade him would be the easiest move. So I think the teams, it all has to line up. The Niners he has to be doing good enough to trade him. He can't be doing so good that you can't trade him, because then it's like, what are you doing? And then you've got, like, Ridder's got to be playing bad. But I don't think it happens before the draft. I don't. I'm sorry, before the season. I don't think it happens before the season, but you never know.
If it didn't happen during the draft, it probably won't happen.
Right.
Season.
Right. Because, but you know, you also got to say, like, what if Trey starts requesting a trade and starts making it more awkward? Then anything's game. You know what I mean? But I just don't know that the Falcons will be ready to receive. I think that they're going down the Ridder path, but if the Ridder path looks bad, I always call him the Ridder. It sounds like a disease. You know, the Falcons got the Ridder. If Ridder ends up becoming that, this total disease there, then they'll have to make some sort of move because there's too much talent there. Or they could just say, we're playing for Caleb. You know, we're going to go ahead and enter those sweepstakes. But I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a darn shame to watch this offense crumble if Ridder isn't good enough to be a manager, a game manager. But I kind of think he's going to be. I don't think Ridder's going to be a fantasy football like starter by any means. And even in Superflex, he'll be an okay second quarterback. But I think he'll throw the ball enough to, there was the Kyler rumor to the Atlanta Falcons. That was a rumor. It's tough to know like what's even substantiated. But and Gannon really loved Kyler. Gannon said he would not have taken the starting head coaching job. But maybe that trade talk was out of Gannon's control. And Gannon didn't have a part or say in that. That's possible. So that's why there might have been a Kyler conversation that Gannon did not want to happen. So you never know really what could have unfolded. But it sounds like they're going to go the course of Ridder. And Ridder should be with those weapons. He didn't have Kyle Pitts. He didn't have Bijan. He only had London last year. So people need to back off a little bit on how bad Ridder looked last year when he put London on pace for 1,400 yards. During the time frame they played together, those 5 games.
So I did want to. I think you already mentioned that too, but I was going to say that he was on pace for that though when Kyle Pitts wasn't healthy. So assuming Kyle Pitts can get his fair share of the targets, I mean they could still, of course, London could still get those numbers up to 1,400 yards if the offense can. If Ridder can provide the offense with enough, you know.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts being back doesn't necessarily mean that London won't get it. It could be the opposite. It could be where now London's for sure going to get it because Pitts will keep defenses honest and Pitts will only consume, 807 or 809, or 908 or whatever he pulls in. Like Ridder's going to have enough to go around and it probably will laser lock on London that the excess could go to Pitts easily and not affect him. I also think Bijan, you need to have Ridder being somewhat efficient to allow Bijan, room to run. But this is the number. If you take the Philadelphia Eagles out, who had Jalen Hurts, running for an insane amount of yards. If you take the Eagles rushing stats out of it. The Falcons were the number 1 rushing attack in the National Football League in terms of amount of rushing volume. So, I mean, Bijan's going to get fed.
I can just see right now, though. I don't know why, and I want to not think about it, but like I can just see Bijan rushing for 7-8 yards a carry, and then they let Ritter throw it 2 or 3 times, and he misses London here, he misses Pitts there, and all of a sudden they're punting it or kicking a field goal, and it's like, man, you should have just.
Or they're just putting 9 in the
Could have been
box
something.
and just making it impossible for them.
I don't think
Gotta be able to make those throws and keep them on it.
I don't think they can put 9 in the box though.
No, that was sarcasm. But
Yeah,
it
no,
was
but
definitely
I'm using the sarcasm back, but I'm saying I don't think you can do that. Like, I'm just saying the stance you're taking. I don't think you could do that and let London and Pitts just have just single coverage all the time and all that. You know what I mean? 8-man fronts will be hard to deploy. The real sense of the word of 9 in the box. 8-man fronts will be hard to deploy on the regular with Kyle Pitts in London.
And Ritter in London, they were connecting last year. Toward the end, Ritter was getting the ball to London, and now you throw Bijan in there. Bijan's the ball great too. Bijan's a great receiver, so it'd be hard to contain all 3 of them.
Ritter or Pickett? Who you taking in the draft?
Well, Ron's gonna say Pickett for sure, and I probably would too. But
Ritter,
I don't know.
He's going to be. I think he's going to be a hurt this year.
all that one at a time, guys. Go ahead, Ron.
I said Ritter, he's going to improve from last year too. I mean, it was his first time, and he got probably about as many games as Pickett got. But it's I think Ritter gets the ball, and if they do 8 in the box, it's going to open up because Ritter and London were connecting last year towards the end of the year, and Algiers ran the ball great. So you add Bijan in there, he's going to run the ball better.
Yeah, I guess.
They both have really interesting weapons.
Yeah, I think Ritter's got enough weapons is the bottom line. Ritter's got enough weapons to be efficient. I don't think he'll be amazing, but he'll be efficient. He's got to be. He's got so many weapons, and like you just said, the fact that Algier ran for 1,000, the fact that and Ron Navy's on the clock in the slow draft, the fact that this team ran the ball so well with the problems they had, no Kyle Pitts, Ritter barely getting acclimated, and they still ran the ball as well as they did. How does anybody think that Bijan's going to get in there and then things are going to get worse? Like, if anything, if they stay the same, Bijan's going to dominate. And if they stay the same, London won't get touchdowns, but he'll get massive yardage. Pitts won't get touchdowns, but he'll get massive yardage because we know Ritter can at least throw a lot of yards. We just don't know if Ritter can score touchdowns. So I don't see. Hello?
Oh. Hello? Were you waiting for me? Oh. No. I was going to say, you'd be comfortable with him as your RB2 in a Superflex league if it's only 10 man?
Who? Comfortable with who?
For 20 Ritter.
As my QB2?
Yeah, in a Superflex league.
Yeah.
Like if all you had was like a good QB and then Ritter.
Yeah, I mean, if I stacked properly, like if my team it depends on your build. Totally depends on your build.
Like I have one league where I'm in win now, and my only QBs are Kirk Cousins and Desmond Ritter, and I'm kind of nervous about it.
Yeah, I can understand why.
But the rest of my team is really good, but it's just my QB is the weakest part of my team, so I might try to trade for one. We'll see.
I'm gonna go with
slow draft committee, but you're already going.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm going. I'm gonna try a really light wide receiver crew here. I'm gonna go Kelsey and Mahomes and see what happens. I don't think I've done that this year. It's gonna be an interesting approach. I like trying out my weird approaches with you guys because these are the jersey drafts. I'm not extremely. These aren't like the best ball, $1 million at stake type of draft. So this is the one where I like to kind of mess around. because you guys are fighting for the jersey anyway. But Travis Kelce, Mahomes, that's going to be an interesting little duo to have.
You think Downs is going to be anything in Kansas City?
Yeah.
I'm so hesitant to draft him.
Wait, Downs in Kansas City? You mean Josh Downs in Indianapolis?
I'm sorry, Rashee Rice. My bad.
Okay.
Rashee
Rice in Kansas City. I don't know. He could be, but keep in mind that like Sky Moore had really high draft capital, and they're not writing him off yet.
Did.
And Tony's expected to be their number one. They talk about him all the time whenever they get a chance. So I don't think he can possibly be any more than the number 3 or 4 wide receiver on the team walking into week 1. So we'll have to see how he looks. But out the gate, no way. Out the gate, he's the third wide receiver,
will he
fourth.
Be better than Sky Moore?
I don't.
That's a long-term thing.
I mean, maybe, but I think Sky Moore gets a shot first, and I think he's going to be pretty good. He's catching footballs from Patrick Mahomes, and he plays in an NFL where you can't touch the receiver, and so he's going to be slippery. And so I kind of like him. He just needs a shot. I like Sky Moore a little more. Rashee Rice is nice, though. Sky Moore fails. Rashee Rice, because I don't believe Tony at the end of the day will be there, like, you know, putting it all together.
Agree.
I think Rice or Sky Moore will do well.
Yeah, I was surprised that Kansas City didn't take a wide receiver earlier, or I was very surprised at the Rashee Rice pick. I really was.
Frake says Chiefs still talk high on Justin Ross. Look, Justin Ross could have been a top 3 wide receiver prospect his draft class, but that whole fusion in the spine was a big deal. And honestly, it's too much to probably overcome. But we'll have to see. They're going to be high on him. They're going to speak positive on him because that's just the right thing to do. But we don't really know how much of that's legit. But I'm hoping for Justin Ross.
So good with Lawrence.
The thing with the Chiefs is that they, you got Kelce and Mahomes. That's the number 1 pairing. But then they sprinkle in all these wide receivers, and they just figure out which ones work best, and that's what they go with.
Yeah. It's kind of like a formula now. I don't know that they even want to mess with it. They're just like, let's have good wide receivers, but let's just keep mixing this around. It will be interesting the moment they get a big dog in there, though. Like, what if they traded for Hopkins for a second-round pick? Like, why not? Why would you not do that? If you're the Kansas City Chiefs right now, you offer a second and you offer it now.
I think I would do that in a heartbeat.
That'd be crazy not to, but
it almost reminds you of like New England with their running back guy by committee. It's wide receiver by committee down in KC. It seems like.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even in the Super Bowl on that Sky Moore touchdown, it was supposed to go the other way, and the whole team, but Mahomes messed up the call. Everybody thought Mahomes was calling something else. They called a repeat play of the previous touchdown, but the entire offense did it reverse, and Mahomes just had to wing it, and they threw a touchdown to Sky Moore on the opposite side, but it was supposed to go to the other side. And everyone thought, what a genius call by Andy Reid to do the reverse of the play previous. But it was all jacked up. But Sky Moore caught that touchdown. It was exciting to see. We all kind of thought, oh, maybe Sky Moore. Who took Gibbs in the second round? Goodness gracious. Peanut butter and waivers, bro.
What?
That's just so high. I don't blame you for wanting it. I know you're not going to get and let's be honest. In this draft, this community, there's no way Gibbs is coming back to him at 31 overall. But God, the need to grab some
number 2. Oh yeah.
Oh, 18. He could go. He could
gone at 1-2, and then Gibbs at 2-2. So
as,
that makes sense.
As I've said, he's climbing into the bottom of round 2. It's just a matter of time. But let's not go out there. I get it in this draft, peanut butter and waivers. I get it. I understand you. But please don't get this urge in a regular draft and start creating a trend. We have to keep Bijan. I mean, look, Gibbs is in round 4 still. He's still in round 4, barely.
I would rather have Bijan and Brees than Bijan and Gibbs. Brees had to have been available. Maybe not.
God, Brees just went at 23 right now.
Wow, how do you pass on Brees?
Well, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't think Gibbs can be better than Brees. Like, I really like Gibbs, but It's just he doesn't in this community. He's got a higher value, but I mean, does that mean you take him at 12? You can't. This is not.
Nah, I would not do that.
But Gibbs, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs's workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10. I blame myself, the science that you just saw on screen. Yeah. I blame myself for creating such an experiment in data to go off of that makes somebody take them as high as Peanut Butter and Waivers just took them at 18 overall. But just don't do that on the regular.
Smitty, he used your formula.
I know. I should never have released it.
Really did with T.
I should never have released the open API on the flux capacitor continuum software upgrade. I shouldn't have did it. I shouldn't have released it. I should have kept it proprietary. But no, I thought I'd give it out to everybody, free to the public, and George from the Bay is creating waves. Or not George from the Bay. I'm sorry, George. I'm blaming you. Peanut Butter and Waivers. Poor George. Let's go back to Rock Out real quick. Rock Out hasn't talked for a while.
Rock Out's probably sleeping.
What do you think about ETN, Harris, and Stevenson? They're kind of around the same tier.
ETN who? Stevenson and who?
Stevenson and Najee.
Najee, ETN, and Stevenson. Yeah, they're all really close. Najee's going around 4. ETN's going around 3. Stevenson's going around 3. So by default, like you could say that Najee's got the best cost of entry because they're all really close, like you said. But one sticks out like a sore thumb being in the 4th round. But like if I just had to rank them, like how are they going to finish? As much as I want to say ETN, but we just don't know if they're going to let him catch the ball. I say ETN's higher risk, higher reward, but I'd say Najee's maybe the safest. Stevenson's probably, he's safe, but at the same time, I don't know what to make of that offense.
It's the Pat.
Does Tank Bigsby hurt ETN to where he's ranked last out of these 3?
No, I'm not too worried about Tank. I mean, he's a rookie coming in, bro. Like I think everyone.
Yeah, he's not a bad player.
He's not a bad player, and he's definitely a good cuff. But I don't know that it just like keep in mind how good ETN was down the stretch and into the playoffs. I think that's the most important thing to look at when you look at ETN. Is it's easy to say, oh, he fell out of favor or something because he kind of slowed down at the end of the fantasy football season. But if we stop living just in fantasy football land and we take a look at what happened at the end of the Jaguars season, you start to remember a few things and you say to yourself, and let me highlight that real quickly so you guys can see it. But like from week 15 on through to week 20, ETN was an absolute monster. And so that gives me a lot of hope to say, hey, there's no risk here at his 3rd round value. Look at week 15. So he kind of crapped the bed for people, from like week 10, by week 11, week 12, week 13, week 14. And so you kind of gave up on ETN a little bit and said, damn it, ETN ended up crapping the bed. And maybe he did. Maybe he didn't make the playoffs and you're blaming him for it. But look at that week 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 103 yards, 83 yards, 108. Very good 3 games in a row. The Tennessee game, 17 yards and 7 carries was bad. I forget what happened in that game and why that played out that way. Maybe it was just week 18 and they sat him. I don't know what it is, what it was about that game. Does anybody remember? It's week 18. I'm pretty sure they didn't need to play that game, right? Didn't they sit him? I think they just might have sat him. So yeah, so we can't. We got to throw.
Like they sit all the starters.
Yeah, week 18. I'm pretty sure he didn't play. So 7 carries. You got to throw that game out. So if you look at week 15 through 20,
count that game.
you look at week 15 through 20, 103 yards, 83 yards, 108, 109, 62. He had 2 touchdowns in that span. He was definitely used at 6.2 yards per carry in his very last game against the Kansas City Chiefs, where he scored a touchdown as well. 62 yards and a touchdown on 10 totes of the rock. That's pretty solid. That is pretty solid. I guess I'm on the clock here. Hold on one second.
Yeah, you are on the clock. And did you see what Ryan did to Dello, man? He blocked him hard. Dello comes out with Chase and got Higgins, and then here comes Ryan. I'm going to take Burrow. Thank you very much. Blocked him.
All right, let's see here. So I definitely want to go wide receiver. Here's where I get caught up on in the 3rd round, going wide receiver. I don't want to force anybody early, and I certainly don't mind Debo in some contexts. I do feel like 3rd round is better than, like, you know, if you had to take him in the 2nd, of course. I think late 3rd round is definitely decent. You know, it's kind of acceptable, but I just don't want to force anybody else. You know, Hopkins is too early for me. Debo, despite the risk, I still, yeah, I don't know. I can't. I can't go DK either. I don't mind DK. Just, I don't know. This feels a little.
Well, if this was a real best ball, like if we were playing puppy or whatever, you'd take Watson. You know you would.
Not in the 3rd round, no. No.
You might.
No.
You might.
I wouldn't. Not in the 3rd round. That's not taking my own advice. Like, you start reaching like that, and you're just going to end up having. It's like someone took a player off your roster. You know, you go in and you just remove a player. Yeah,
everybody's sniping every.
Yeah,
we're always reaching. We're all reaching. When you know, we're not going to do that. Like if we're just playing against random people, you know, in best ball, whatever. But when we're all together as a community, we're just all sniping each other.
Good thing.
It's fun.
Yeah, good thing this is the $5 draft for the Garrett Wilson jersey, because I'm just going to try out different things. But I don't know if I would go Debo in a real best ball, but it feels like a pretty good trio. You know, Kelsey, Mahomes, Debo. I don't mind that at all. I mean, it's very solid. I wouldn't take Debo in the second.
It's really good. The only problem with taking Kelsey is
some people think Debo's going to completely.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Let Ron talk.
Sorry.
You're like that. We're gonna start. Who was that, by the way? We got to rename you. Like, is that Rudy? Super Rudy? I think I'm Super. We're gonna name you Super Rudy the Interrupter. Like you.
Actually, I don't mean to do that. That's
Rudy. Rude Rudy. Do you mind if we rename you Rude Rudy?
No, don't do that.
Okay, Rudy, hold on one second.
I don't mean to do it.
No, I know you don't. It's in your nature. Do you interrupt everybody? Is that just like, be honest? Is that just like a problem?
No.
Okay. Hang tight, Rudy. Go ahead, Ron. Rudy didn't mean it.
No, I thought I was the interrupter. I thought Rudy started talking before I did, or we both started talking about the same time. So
Rudy Rudiger. That's right.
No, but what I was going to say is Kelsey. I mean, he acts as a wide receiver, but I mean, that's the only thing about taking a tight end early. It kind of messes up either the running backs or the receivers after that. When you take
you're on the clock, by the way.
That's what I hate.
You're on the clock, by the way. Where's Tony Pollard? Where's Tony Pollard in your running back rankings? And Rudy, I'm just joking with you. It's fine. We're all. You don't apologize.
No, I'm here. I'm listening.
Don't apologize for being rude. That's just the way it is. Tony Pollard in my rankings. I'd say 6 to 10.
I knew Chauvy wasn't going to let me get Tony Pollard.
Go ahead, Rudy. Rudy, go ahead. Rudy, go ahead. Were you talking? Go ahead, Rudy.
No, I'm good.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, this was Ben. My bad.
Oh, that was Ben. I'm blaming Rudy.
I was right after Chauvy in the draft, and I knew I wasn't going to get Tony Pollard, but I was excited at the opportunity. But he had a lamb. I knew he was going to grab him. That was a nice grab.
Who you have so far? McCaffrey. Yeah, McCaffrey. Adams, Derrick Henry. And Rudy, I interrupt people all the time, so don't apologize. It's fine. McCaffrey, Adams, and Henry. That's pretty good. That's, I don't mind that.
I don't love Adams, but that late in the second round, I'll take it all day.
Yeah. Mark Andrews.
Yeah, Adams was on. Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead, Rudy. It's your show.
No, I was saying Adams was the only person I was fading in the first round, but in the second round, I don't know. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty late too in the second, but yeah, I know.
George from the Bay. George from the Bay is actually drafting a pretty decent team. I think Lamar's a little early in the third round, though. But you've got Jonathan Taylor, Amon-Ra, Lamar, and Mark Andrews. It's a very interesting squad. It's not bad. TD strikers is Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, Travis Etienne, and Christian Watson. And Dan, the Grim Reacher, is on the clock right now. I'm sure he's scouring for some reach that he can pull off. Going over to the first overall pick, JJ, Waddle, and Burrow. Not a huge fan of the second round Waddle selection, but that's just me. I always say that. I could be completely wrong on it, but I think he's a decent third round player. Kind of feels like Debo to me. Like I don't love Waddle in 2. I don't love Debo in 2. If both of them are floating around like the 3.5, I like that value a lot. But I just don't like them in the second. But it's a good trio. Bijan, Breece Hall, Devontae Smith, solid. JJ, T. Higgins, and Nick Chubb, solid. A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, and Josh Jacobs, very decent. A.J. Brown's high, but it's his best ball. You're stacking. And I knew London was going to go. It's just like none of these guys are going to fall. DK's there for me. I could go RB. I don't know. This is tough.
DK's not bad in the fourth. I've been avoiding him with Ben. But, he's still got that spike. Well, it's not. it is best ball. I was going to say it's not best ball, but it is best ball.
It is, yeah. Calvin Ridley's decent here. Hopkins is decent here. I could go RB if I wanted here. I've got Mahomes, Debo, and Kelsey. I need an RB. I'll go Walker.
RB's the flying off the wall.
Yeah, I'll go Walker. So this is
I took him.
This is a pretty balanced team right here. Mahomes, Kenneth Walker, Debo, Kelsey. Similar to the one I just drafted. It's pretty decent. Pretty decent. All right, I'm gonna swing you guys on out of here. Let's start with Ben. Ben, final thoughts.
Appreciate you guys. I made a trade with Ron in our dynasty. He moved up to the second round, but I got a pretty good haul out of it. I think I got I moved up from the 10th to the 8th and got another late round pick. So
nice.
Appreciate everything you do, Smitty.
All right, man.
Got the best show. Have
Thanks.
a good night.
Thanks, Ben. Later. Rock out.
Nice trading with you, Ben.
Rock out. Final thoughts.
I think I'm good. Appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate you. Super Rudy, final thoughts.
Yeah, I think I'm good also. It's a good show.
All right, Rudy, call in anytime. Don't take offense to it. I was just joking with you.
Hell no. This is a fun show. I'll be back.
What did you say, Rudy?
I said
Rudy, what?
Fun show. I'll be back.
Rudy, what? Just kidding.
What?
Just kidding. Later, man.
He's interrupting you.
Later. All right, Ron, final thoughts? Rudy Rudiger.
That's about it. That's all
right.
I got is I'm laughing my butt off.
All right,
Have a
later,
good
Ron.
night.
Later. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Appreciate you. I'll see you all later. Don't forget Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Link is pinned in the live chat. If you want to be in Thursday night's best ball drafts, and we may do one during the day or something like that tomorrow or the next day or whatever. We'll start doing a couple random ones. But definitely make sure that you hit that link that's pinned in the live chat. It's also in the description of every video. Underdog Fantasy. Sign up ahead of time so you don't rush in there and not get in. Code Smitty, but the link inserts code Smitty for you. Let's go. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm live Monday through Friday, every single Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm live whenever news breaks, and I'm live Thursday, Friday, Saturday doing drafts like this. And Tuesdays usually will be Panic Chamber. We're going to have to delay the Panic Chamber today. I might do that video tomorrow. I might do that during the Wednesday show tomorrow. I'm not sure. But I'll see you all tomorrow. Appreciate you. Beshan or Stevenson or Higgins? Who's Beshan? Tyler. Who's Beshan? Bijan? Better not be Bijan. Better not be Bijan. Later, Golf. Later, George. Later, Matto. Later. Thank you, Aloha, for dropping the fat wad on screen tonight. Getting on the big board. Aloha right here. $50 hauler bull prediction as well. Aloha with the bull prediction right here. Where is it? Bull prediction right here. Aloha says Trey Lance will be the next Jalen Hurts and take San Francisco to the Super Bowl. Aloha is the man, the myth, the legend. Appreciate him. See you all later.